fucking rolling today.
I don't know because
I had a good time with this movie. I liked it.
I did too.
So I think I liked it. By the way, brothers, sisters, gender resistors, welcome to another episode of the Comic Book Rundown presents Rundown Reviews. I, of course, am the person that did this introduction for a show where we review anything and everything that's on Joey's stupid arbitrary list of comic book related paraphernalias. Apparently, this movie Stardust, 2007, I believe.
Yep, 2007. Got it right.
Is based off a comic book.
So it's based off of a
book.
Neil Gaiman novel that DC then approached him to do a comic book on.
Did they make it?
They did.
So there's
four issues,
book.
4 issues, maybe 6 issues of a comic. Yeah.
Okay. And were the reports saying that this was accurate to the comic book?
So this is fairly accurate to the book.
Yeah, I'm saying
other than certain parts of it.
Okay.
Neil Gaiman was working with the production, working with Matthew Vaughn, and all the rest of the production team on this movie. Actually, the people have approached, according to a lot of the IMDb, people approached Vaughn for years to have this made into a movie, and he was very, very protective of it. And for whatever reason, wait, did I say Vaughn? I said approach Gaiman for this movie. Sorry. Right. And it wasn't until Matthew Vaughn came to him and was like, "This is what I want to do. This is my idea." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, I like it."
Okay, so I mean, Neil Gaiman, famous comic book writer.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, and our author, but yes.
Author, yeah.
Right, but he is like
Sandman.
I know. Yeah, I know the name Neil Gaiman because of famous comic books that's there.
So not like Good Omens or stuff like that. Then
American Gods.
I don't.
American Gods. Yeah.
Well, no, that's a comic book. I know American Gods.
I don't think it's that comic book.
I don't know if it is a comic book.
What am I thinking of? I swear to God, I swear to God, there was a comic book called American Gods.
I think there's a new comic that just came out called American Gods, or I don't remember now.
I don't know. I remember there's a Minotaur thing in it. I think from one cover that I saw. Am I thinking the right thing? Anyway, Neil Gaiman, famous comic book writer, wrote a book that then potentially got turned into a comic book, and that's why it's on the list.
Yeah,
we did Double Dragon and Adventures of
Buckaroo Banzai.
Because
I was told Buckaroo Banzai was a comic.
Loosely,
but you wouldn't let us watch the 2D Star Wars movie. I don't know why you guys didn't think I was going to come back to this.
I really didn't think.
Even Ron, I knew exactly where it was coming from as soon as he said.
Even Ron's, it's a fucking Wednesday. I don't have the.
Here's the thing: we still talked about the 2D Star Wars. You want to complain about it?
But you didn't count it.
We both talked about it and we rated it. It's not on the full list, but we did rate it. See, I covered my base.
Yeah, but it doesn't count if it's not on the list, Joey.
But you know what does count? The fact that Gandalf himself narrated this movie. Okay?
Yeah, that was fun.
Was that who that was?
Yeah. What do you mean was that who that was?
Sometimes I confuse him and Patrick Stewart voice-wise.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, Magneto and Xavier are pretty close, so
Yeah, they have very similar voices when I don't see their faces.
Before we get too far into this, I believe we talked about it, I think maybe off mic last week.
About how Chuck has a problem with telling the difference between certain actors.
No, that's a
like Kevin Costner and Michael Keaton and...
This is the first time I've seen this. Chuck, I believe this is the first time.
I didn't even know this thing. I didn't know it was a book. I didn't know it was a comic book. I had never even heard of this movie. Did this do well in the theaters? I wouldn't know because I have never heard of it.
I actually don't know if it did well in theaters, but this is like the 4th time I've watched it.
Okay.
I really like it. I think it's a great movie. There's a lot of fun things in
How
it.
did you hear about it?
I think I saw a preview on like a DVD that was for it, and then Jess and I found the DVD in the $5 bin at Walmart, and we were like, "Hey, let's do that."
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I mean, that would make sense.
The budget was like 70 to 88 million, and it made 137. So not great at the box office, but not terrible.
I mean, it still didn't lose.
No, well, if you figure advertising and because this is also, I think it was probably touted as a Neil Gaiman novel and not a comic book movie.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I had never heard of it. My Gen X boss, who was a theater major and knows a lot of people in the industry, famously super super good friends with the guy who plays the guy in Men in Black who has the baby in the street.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. He also wrote Galaxy Quest, just so you know. Same dude.
Oh, that is so awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Famous.
I love Galaxy Quest.
Why isn't Galaxy Quest
I
on
love
this
how
list?
I love how
comic.
Are you sure?
It is legitimately not a comic. It was his original idea. He wrote that whole thing. Anyway, I just thought it was like really interesting that he like wrote it. But he's also the dude who is like an extra in a movie. Anyway, she had never heard of this movie, and my 21-year-old Gen Z intern had never heard of this movie.
The 21-year-old makes sense.
No, 2007. She would have been a kid
6.
when like a young.
No,
yeah,
she's
this is
21
like
now. She'd have been 4 years old.
Yeah, something like that. Fuck, we are.
Yeah, this seems like an appropriate movie for 4-year-old.
Honestly, she probably would have had fun with it at 4 years old. A little bit.
I told her to watch it. She's also never seen Princess Bride or Willow.
Okay.
So here's the thing: she's just uncultured.
I think she was just sheltered.
Yeah, not all.
She likes a lot of Disney stuff. She keeps telling me I have to watch Princess and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog's pretty good.
Movie.
Okay, I will fucking watch it. Everybody get off my ass. Anyway. She's never seen Over the Garden Wall, though, and I figured she would really appreciate that. I think
That's one I actually haven't seen. I need to start watching.
I don't even know what that is.
Good things about that one.
It's
an animated show.
Yeah, it's an animated. It wasn't. It's only like 4 seasons. It's really good. It was. Is it by the same people who did Galaxy Falls? Yeah.
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
I thought so.
Yeah, Gravity Falls. Yeah.
So that's why I really wanted to watch it, because I love Gravity Falls.
Yeah, it's really good. Anyway, I'd never seen this movie before. Never seen it. That being said, disclaimer for what we're about to talk about. I watched this at work, like the first half at work, and then I watched the second half when I got home because I had to stand in one place and pour a bunch of shit into cups, and kept thinking that I could understand what the fuck was going on, but I don't think I actually understood what was going on. Because at one point I told you guys, oh, this is if Willow and Rat Race made a movie together. Yeah. And then I realized, oh, it's a little bit of Hocus Pocus too.
I got a Hocus Pocus vibe mainly toward the
because
end.
of the 3 sisters.
Well, yes, but mainly
trying to suck the life out of something.
The 2 get killed off, and then Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Lamia, I believe her name was.
Yeah, Lamia.
Lamia was like,
Labia?
just go, like, you doesn't make any sense without my sisters, kind of a thing. Like, that's very Hocus Pocus 2.
Except for she was lying about it, and then she tried to kill him anyway.
Yeah, so that was kind of dumb, but whatever.
But it
was fun. Like, I enjoyed it.
Okay, so here's how the movie goes, Chuck. Since you missed out on it, apparently.
Yeah,
there's a place called Wall, and Wall is the separation between actual world and the magical world. And there's a hole in the wall where you can get to the other side to the magical world. And this kid takes a day trip over there, or a night trip over there, bangs a chick who ends up being a princess, gets her pregnant. She brings the kid back 9 months later and drops him off at the wall so the old guy can take him over there. That kid turns 18 years later. He wants to impress a girl, so he goes back over the wall to find a star that fell from the sky. He gets the shit beat out of him by an old man.
Yes,
Which
I saw
is
that part.
hilarious.
Dude, that was fucking great.
I have actually written down that like he definitely learned some things since
I could imagine getting your ass beat by an old man.
Yeah. I do also want to like point out that wall was waist high. Why was it that they were?
So there was the break in the wall is like a portal to another world. Like if you just jump over the wall, you're just going to be in the field that you can see across from it. But going through the hole in the wall, you actually get transported into Stormhold, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, Stormhold. Wish they would have explained that just a little bit better.
Yeah,
funny enough.
I think I got most of this, but there was like little explanation of like why he needed to do these things.
Oh, hey Chuck, you know why? It was in a novel. We should have read the novelization of this.
Apparently, we should have read the novelization. That would make a lot more sense.
I did actually. But no, so the kid's name is Tristan, right?
Yep.
And Tristan came from a tryst. He is the son of a tryst, Tristan.
Which
is that where that came from?
I feel like that's where it came from. That's the only thing I can think of.
That all of the princes' names were like Latin for
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. So or Latin or Greek or something.
It's Latin because it's a Roman thing to do.
Okay, yeah, it's a very, very aristocracies. I don't know the word.
Like Octavian because he was the 8th, stuff like that. Augustus,
But
anyway,
Tristan would make sense that he was the son of a tryst. So
that's
all.
But anyway, so the kid at the beginning goes across the wall. He meets this flower girl who, for a kiss, gives him a flower, and then for a little bit extra, she gave him a little bit extra. He gets Tristan. Tristan's trying to impress Victoria, which I don't get, but whatever.
That relationship seemed doomed to fail.
Well, yeah, there's so many red flags you could run a bull through them.
Yeah.
But he does get beat up by Superman.
We should also point out that Tristan is Charlie Cox.
Daredevil.
Babyface Daredevil. Because I looked at his IMDb, and this is maybe his first starring, like leading role. I could be wrong on that, but it's still a very early.
Yeah, he was just a baby.
Yeah, he's a youngling.
And the reason why he was chosen, the studio itself wanted somebody like Orlando Bloom. Like this is a few years after Lord of the Rings, so
Pirates of the Caribbean, all that shit.
Yeah, exactly. But Matthew Vaughn's like, no, I don't want a known actor. I want somebody like relatively unknown, and he found Charlie Cox. And it took the studio, like they didn't agree right away when he signed on Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Claire Danes.
Dude, Michelle Pfeiffer is still banging hot in this movie.
Oh yeah, well, 100%. But like,
is this Robert De Niro?
Oh, I said Al Pacino, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah. I got confused there for a minute. I was like, no, that's Robert De Niro because
I got the
Joey gets some confused too, okay? But only if they're Italian names.
That's the Italian thing in me. I just confuse them all for uncle. So so once those three signed on, then they were like, okay, we'll let this unknown come in. I really enjoyed Charlie Cox.
Well, I mean, shit, they even had Ricky Gervais in there.
That took me out of it. I did not like Ricky Gervais in this movie.
You know why? Because it was just a cameo. He was just himself.
Well, apparently he just ad-libbed literally all of his lines. And it shows because they were stupid. I did not like him in this movie. That's good.
Yeah, he felt like the equivalent of, because we just watched Spider-Man, the like, oh, we need a very relevant person.
Didn't we just watch the... Yes.
Well, check the archives of Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago we watched Spider-Man, because this is definitely not happening out of order.
Whatever.
Listen. I left it ambiguously enough. You two just shot it in the face. Anyway, because I said Spider-Man, no Spider-Man 2. Anyway, Spider-Man 2. That felt like we just need somebody who's really hot right now to make a cameo, so everybody can point at the screen and be like, "Oh, hey, look, it's Ricky Gervais."
Yeah, because that one was wrought with cameos left and right. This one, like as soon as I saw him, I'm like, "Oh, Ricky Gervais, I like him. He's kind of fun." But as soon as he started talking, I'm like, "Yeah."
I like the part where he was negotiating, where he's like 200, and he's like 80. He's like 200. He's like 85. And he's like, "Oh no. See, the way this works is negotiation. See, I changed my number, then you change your number, but you're not changing your number."
I did like that. That was very good. Yeah. I'm also not a big Ricky Gervais guy personally, like out of this movie. So like it didn't really do anything for me, but I did enjoy Robert De Niro in this. Despite the fact that it's Robert De Niro being Robert De Niro again, for the most part. Yeah. Even flamboyant Robert De Niro playing flamboyant Robert De Niro was like really interesting to me, but it's really hard for me to look at Robert De Niro anymore because on the Dudesy podcast they have a thing with like where Will Sasso does Robert De Niro Crow, where he does a Robert De Niro voice pretending he's the Crow from like the cartoon Crow or the comic book Crow. So it's like really hard for me to take Robert De Niro seriously now because of that. But
that's fair.
This was interesting. So
that's fair.
Anyway,
but no, like I enjoyed Robert De Niro's role. Like I was very confused when
Simon was so excited when there were sky pirates.
Nice. But no, when he captured Tristan and Yvain, and then he's like interrogating them in the brig, but he's yelling loud enough for his men who are outside of the brig to hear. I'm like, what is up with this? Like, what's going on here? Something's up with this. And then when the whole like charade happens.
Yeah, the whole like he's gonna rape her thing was just like, this feels very not on brand for what I thought this movie was about. And I was like, I was starting to get real uncomfortable about it. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, this was one of the moments of like, I thought I understood the plot of this movie. And then I was just like, where did the pirates come from? Why is this happening? Like, it was weird.
I did appreciate though that toward the end of it, when he got outed,
all of his men were like, "Yeah, we knew you were, you know,
for a while. Like,
we knew you were in." I believe the term was "oopsie."
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm going to be using that a lot now, and I don't think it's going to come off as nice as it's going to sound in my brain.
Probably not.
No.
But that, like, that really, like,
it almost felt offensive, right? That seems an offensive way to.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure.
Yeah. But that did endear the crew to me. Like, I was just
absolutely. Well, if you pay attention throughout all their interactions, the little short guy, like his second in command, knew the whole time
what was going on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but the rest of the crew didn't. And then when they're all like, "Hey, Cap, you're still our captain. Like, we understand what's going on. You're fine." Like, that was awesome. That was just great.
For 2007, that was quite progressive.
Yes,
of like a thing to put. Yeah, was the captain like that in the book? Like, was that a thing that was acknowledged in the book? No.
Yes, he was very flamboyant in the book also.
And they were just cool with it?
Yeah.
So, like, Ron, you said you read the book. This is basically, is it real like a really?
So for the most part, this goes like play for play in the book. I mean, obviously you get a little bit more detail and stuff in the book. The only thing that differs is at the end of it. Because the end of the book is kind of depressing, if I recall correctly, because Yvain goes back and then he ends up ruling and then dying and then she's lonely again.
Oh.
So,
instead of them growing old together and then him going up to the stars with her.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
But other than that, it's fairly accurate. One thing that's not accurate, though, so Michelle Pfeiffer in this is a witch. These witches are after Yvain, who is the fallen star, because eating her heart will give them youth again and power and blah, 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 blah. When she changes the kid into a goat, the little Bernard.
Oh, yeah, I totally felt bad for him.
Right?
All you want to do is sell a goat. And then he gets dragged around for like ever.
she turns him into a goat, and then she does the minor enchantment on Ditchwater Sal, and it takes all the like youth out of her arms, right? But then she makes an entire fucking inn, and it does nothing to her.
I have that written down too. I'm like, that makes no sense that she uses two little magics and then one giant magic and
does nothing. Also, though, I do have to say though that turning Bernard into a girl was probably the best thing that she did.
Maybe that's why, because it's changing another human being. So maybe it
against their will, it could be.
Yeah, so it actually takes more energy versus just producing a just giant inanimate object.
I guess
maybe.
Maybe she has to like to morph another human being. She has to give up a part of her own essence and power. I don't know.
Sounds good. Question. Let's go with that one.
All right.
So when the princes, after their father, like when their father is dying, and Segundus comes in, and the dad's like, the king's like, go look out the window and tell me what you see. He looks like right at Septimus, and he's like, telling him to throw him out the window, and then he just fucking pushes him out the window. I want to know what the rules are for them being able to kill each other.
Whoever's last rules.
No, because like some of those look like accidents, right?
Oh yeah, the ghost, yeah.
Like so, like one of them looks like he got frozen to death, which he probably got pushed into like a river or under a lake or something. One of them got burnt to death. One of them had an axe in his head.
That's
yeah, the one dude got pushed out the window. Tertius got poisoned. But like, if they can just kill each other, like, why was there just not, an all-out battle?
Yeah.
Probably because they wanted to do it where they don't see it coming. Otherwise, they could defend themselves.
Maybe, but I just don't know why. Like, I wish I knew. Like, if there was actually a set of rules that they had to follow for that, or if it was just kind of like, when they were trying to be conniving and cunning and.
I did like when was it Septimus?
Septimus is the dark-haired one that
Mark Strong's character.
Yeah.
He I liked it when he poisoned his brother, and like he pretended to be poisoned, and Perstimus, I know that's not his name.
Primus.
Thank you. He's like, oh, I'm king. This is awesome. And then Septimus just like
he picks up the crown. He's getting ready to put it on, and then Septimus stands up. He's like, oh, you actually thought you were king. Good.
Yeah. So
that was great.
There's like a lot of plots in this. So the bad guy was trying to kill the other one so he could become king, but he was haunted by the ghosts of his brothers, right?
So they all were. I mean, they couldn't see them until they died, but they could like sort of hear what they were saying, and like sometimes it would manipulate them into thinking things. Okay. Like until they died, then they were all together, and until the king was named, they would all be stuck in purgatory together.
Gotcha.
And according to IMDb, one of them, instead of going up, went down. Turned red and went down. So, I meant to rewatch that part, but I totally forgot to. And then more likely it was probably Septimus.
I would assume so.
What did that plot have to do with the Stardust exactly?
So that plot had to do with
that
the necklace shot in the air, knocked the star out of the sky, and then she wore the necklace the whole time. And then the other reason why they were important to the story is because Una was the princess, which is Tristan's mom.
Right.
The one that was captured in the very beginning,
Yeah, so he ended up being, the last blood of their bloodline, so he was able to become king.
Right. Okay, that I guess I missed the part of like why they were like all hunting for this person. Like a giant scavenger hunt.
It just kind of because let's see, Septimus found out about the stone because Bernard was in the inn when he found his
about
brother
when Primus found it.
Speaking of, but Primus was killed.
Yeah,
and the inn disappeared. Bernard was still there when Septimus came upon him.
Yeah,
and he said that the girl had the stone. That's why he went after Yvain.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But when Primus is in the bathtub and he is like attempting to like flirt with Yvain, and he's like, "Ah, yes, I came in here in my carriage with my 4 big black horses. It's the biggest carriage in the land," and then he looks down, or so I've been told. Like, dude, it just that fucking shit cracked me up.
I'm so shocked by that.
It was also kind of funny when the unicorn comes into the inn to save them from the goat dude, and just like which the guy that gets turned into a goat is Ron Weasley's dad in the Harry Potter movies.
You mean the goat that gets turned into a man? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said, didn't I?
Sure.
Yeah. No, anyway, but when the unicorn hits him and turns him back into a goat, and then he just flattens against the back wall, that was fucking hilarious.
I laugh at that. I loved it when the unicorn stopped Bernard from drinking the poison and like is stopping and literally pointing at the floor for him to see
where it's burning a hole in the ground. Yeah.
That was fun.
So, but after the end scene, they go up to the sky, and they get captured. When they first get captured, and he throws, quote unquote, throws Tristan overboard, and he's taking Yvain in the other room and into his cabin, and he says, "Don't bother me for the next hours, or you'll get the same." And all of the crew's like, you mean you're gonna? And he's like, "No, I'm gonna throw you overboard."
Yep,
that was really funny.
I love it.
Yeah, it was good.
Did you guys also notice, speaking of the pirates and Tristan's interactions, when he cut his hair grew longer?
It did. Like I know that couldn't have been a wig, but
no, because he had it on for the rest of the movie. Like,
yeah, so like that was his hair.
Yeah.
But then again, the captain did say, "When I'm done with you, no one will recognize you." So
I mean, that's true. So maybe he's got some magic too, I guess.
They are in the magical world. It does kind of make sense. He might have something. Let's see here. I definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
I definitely think when they are leaving after they left the captain and everything, and they're going to the wall, Tristan like pushes her down into the like bushes. She was totally into that.
Oh, 100%. Like she was all glowed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of after they leave, when
he also lingered there like a little too long.
A little bit.
Oh, that was intentional.
There was nobody there.
Oh, I know. I know. He was trying to slip it in for sure.
That was just so she could feel the boner that he was getting.
Yeah, he was trying to get his pants unbuckled and just was not successful at it.
But speaking of when they leave and Septimus gets on the ship and his guards are like standing in the way of the captain's quarters, so the one pirate like bows at them and then they all salute. And then as soon as they go down for their salute, the pirates just start beating the shit out of them. Like, exactly. Like that right there is like peak.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was wonderful.
It was good. I did like it. I didn't hate this movie. I just, like I said, I think I got lost in the sauce a little bit of like what was going on. This is a movie that you really do have to really pay attention to the plot for the most part, especially if you've never seen it before, to like really understand why these people are just mysteriously popping in and happening. There was a lot of character. Like there was essentially 2 different villain groups the entire, like for the most part. Yeah.
Septimus and the witches, yeah.
Because
I mean, even at the end, Septimus really isn't a good guy. He just knows that they'll have a better chance to kill the witches if they work together.
Yes.
Right. Which really, I mean, he was still bad. I liked the open scene when he comes like, I don't know, he's on the beach or whatever, and that Sears like throwing the stuff in the air.
Really cool.
I really liked that like concept. Yeah, I like that concept in general, but the way he like figures out the puzzle and stuff, that's very cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it was pretty easy to tell yes from no.
Yeah, and he goes and throws it, and then the witch is doing the same thing. I thought that was a cool.
That was a really awesome transition. Yeah,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah. So we mentioned earlier about Victoria, and Tristan is just trying to impress her. I definitely kind of laughed because he almost like had her on the hook when they went on the
until
picnic.
The polar bear thing.
Yeah, which is just like, okay, yeah, you're trying to give her a dead bear's head.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's your choice between this shop boy, which just got
He's
fired.
not a shop boy. He was just a boy who worked in a shop, okay?
Sure. But he just got fired from that shop because instead of actually, doing
his job,
the customers, this Victoria walks in and says, "Hey, I want all this," and he's like, "Okay, fine," and like walks out. Of course, he's gonna get fired. He's done.
In his defense, though, I mean, I'd probably do the same. He still lives with his dad. He's only 18 years old. It's not like he had to have the job.
Well,
and he even said to himself he wasn't planning on staying in Wall. The job was just a temporary thing until he could get the hell out of there. And it's true, it was.
But then I also feel bad for Tristan when he tries to go and that night before he's at Victoria's house and
when Humphrey Cavill beats him up.
Yeah, just kind of like Henry Cavill's in this movie for all of 10 minutes.
But we do get a lot of character from him in those 10 minutes.
We do.
More character than we got him as Superman in 4 movies. So.
Because at the beginning we find out that he's arrogant, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of it we find out that he's gay. So.
Well, we also find out he's a chicken shit.
That's fair. But in his defense,
pulls out the giant sword.
Yeah, he had a fucking cane rapier against a broadsword, basically.
Sure, but I also want to, and I'm not saying that Tristan couldn't have learned all of these skills, these fighting skills in the 2 days, maybe that they were on, maybe 3 that they were on the pirate ship. But
where they were like sword fight dancing the entire time.
Which is cool. It's fine, but it
was like a lightsaber battle,
which is, like I said, which is cool. But he faces off against, Septimus, sort of, Lemira controlling Septimus, and he's holding his own. That seems interesting. I'm not saying he couldn't, like I said,
but she also wasn't even watching the fight while she was controlling him.
Sure.
She had her back to them for most of the fight.
Well, yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
But it was hilarious watching the ghosts cringe every time he stabbed Septimus or cut him and stuff. That was pretty funny. That whole fight with Septimus was kind of hilarious. Yeah.
The ghosts were delightful. I enjoyed them the entire time.
Yeah,
we saw them.
The ghosts were the correct use of comic relief.
Yeah,
100%.
Unlike the little people things in the green screen people in Willow.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah, I don't remember.
They're brownies. They're brownies.
Brownies. That's what it was. Yeah. Not used properly. Ghosts did really well in this.
During the Septimus fight at the end, when he's cutting the chandeliers down, and he finally gets the right one. Not only does he crush Septimus with the chandelier, but it throws him across the room, and he fucking double mule
tackles.
Kick.
Holy shit!
Flying fucking double foot kick right into Lamia. And how does that cripple ass old lady not break in half right then and there?
She's a witch. Who knows?
Not only that, but then she can fight and move faster than he can, even being 900 years old. I don't know.
See the guard was 90 and he backflipped.
I guess that's true. Maybe Tristan's just really slow.
Again, I don't know how he's able to actually defend himself. Because he even gets the upper hand against the captain. But then again, I also don't think the captain was really good at his job, because when he took over the ship and was flying it,
everybody's like, no, the captain, everybody grab a hold. Yeah.
They knew.
Well, even he was a monologue about how he didn't even really want to do this. He was just living on his father's
that's true
tradition and stuff. So he obviously wasn't that dedicated. He just wanted to be a performer.
That is very true.
So when the witches first find out that there's another star that dropped, right? And they take out their last piece of the last heart, and Michelle Pfeiffer's character Lamia eats it, and then like the first thing she does is gets in front of the mirror and drops her robe. That was great.
I was hoping for a
same
body shot, but
it's PG-13 in 2007.
You can show a butt.
We could have definitely seen some ass.
What we should have done all along, very foolish of us, was Ron's own rating of like 1 through 10, rating every hot girl that we've ever seen in a movie.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so Ron, if you could just go back and retroactively rank every single one by next recording, that would be great.
You know what we could do? I could just record it and do it a Patreon special.
Oh, that's super fair.
That's gonna be a lot of movies. But
I don't know. There was a lot. I mean, majority of them are going to be like 7 to 10. If I'm being honest, majority of them are hot to you.
That's fair.
No, you have to do decimal points.
Don't worry. I got the decimal points down. Don't worry.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
You can keep that. You can keep that one yourself. I'll let you tally all those up. Keep track of that. But okay, so at the very end, during his coronation, we see we see Victoria and Humphrey there. Why? Like
he invited the whole village.
Did he?
Yeah, because like the gatekeeper was there, and like some of the people you see from the shop are there. Like anybody that made an appearance was there. So, and obviously his dad was there. But yeah, it was. I think it was just to have like the village over there because they were part of his life for 18 years.
And probably to say, hey, it actually is nice to come to be over here. You can
also to bite his thumb at Victoria for being such a bitch code.
And letting
because I will admit at the beginning of this movie, Tristan was an asshole.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
I was not a fan.
All of his interactions with Yvain at the beginning, and like he was just a dick.
But that's
he was a typical young 20s person in 2007. You know what I mean?
That's the classic trope of, oh, I'm gonna be an asshole to you, but I'll fall in love with you. Like,
yeah,
that's
healthy.
Well, it worked out, I guess.
Yeah. Here we are.
About falling in love, like I mean, it was obvious the whole miscommunication thing with the innkeeper and Yvain when Tristan's like, oh, when my friend wakes up, can you give her this message? And he's like, yep, he went to go tell his true love.
Sorry.
Now.
No, what he said was he told me to tell, or he said went to tell Victoria, sorry, I found my true love and I want to be with her. But the way that he said it like the way that the innkeeper repeated what he said made it sound like he was saying, sorry, I went to go.
Right. The way he worded it was like, he told me to tell you sorry, he found his true love, or something like to that.
Sorry,
like,
I'm going back to Victoria to say
it was what it made it sound like. Yeah.
So.
Which was like the stupidest way to like word it.
Exactly.
Also, why did you not just write it down and have him give her a letter?
What he was gonna do.
Because he said that he didn't. He's like he said, "Can you give me a pen and a piece of paper so I can write a message?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, if you come back at a better time."
Oh,
I missed that part.
Yeah, same.
Are you sure that wasn't in the novelization?
100%.
Okay. Wasn't sure.
I have a decent memory, but not that good of a memory.
But then when he does go, because like he cuts off a piece of Yvain's hair, and then he's gonna give that to Victoria, and it turns to Stardust. Honestly, I thought having the Stardust would be kind of cool.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, she's an arrogant shit. She probably thought it was an actual piece of rock that she could, you know.
That's a good point.
Because she was a spoiled little fucking princess of her tiny little town that she's never ever gonna leave.
I mean, she went to.
But here's
like old movie.
Here's the real question, though. So it took from the time that he found out that it would turn her to Stardust, right? That she couldn't cross the wall without dying.
Yeah.
That was almost the same time that she walked out of the doors or out of the gates of the Wall Market, right?
No.
They were happening around the same time, give or take.
Okay.
It took him longer to sprint from wall to the wall than it took her to walk lazily from Wall Market to the wall.
Well, maybe wall to the wall is farther than a mile?
Maybe, but when you look at it on the map, they're supposed to be like equally distant across there.
Yeah, I didn't have a map, so
No, it literally showed it at the beginning.
yeah, I didn't want to rewind it.
You don't just remember those things from watching them?
You got to use the legend in the bottom and then.
Oh yeah, my bad. Okay.
Yeah.
I was watching it.
Ron just always happens to have a tape measure near him, so.
Actually, I think he does.
That's not true right now.
Wow. How will we ever know that? How can you measure things?
Oh, so from the tip of my finger to the first knuckle is almost exactly an inch.
Oh, okay. Is that that's
knuckle
for everybody?
Not yours.
Oh. No, mine looks about an inch.
I say, yeah, measure it, dude. It might be. You never know.
Yeah. Like twice the size of my penis, so that would make sense.
Man, I thought you were going to go for the joke. I could probably measure it 3 times and get it, but you know.
No. I'm hung like a field mouse in a snowstorm over here. Like, I know my own. I know my own limitations.
That I think is everything I have.
Yeah, you better fucking hope it is, Joey. It's good. That's what happens when we record on a Wednesday night.
Oh shit! No kidding. Who the fuck's idea was this?
Mine specifically.
This guy.
Because we're so adamant that Charlie has to be on the show.
I mean, you're a staple now, my dude.
Yeah, we like having you on the show.
In my defense, it's not my fault. It's my boss's fault.
It was.
For
in your defense, though, I was just recently listening to our cover of A History of Violence, and we definitely missed some Chuck hot takes in there. So
yeah, that's super fair. I listened to it and heard a lot of talking shit. So
I mean, that's true. We did have to cover for you.
Just in the beginning.
We did have to cover for you. So I mean,
that's true. I was dying. You don't understand. I had food poisoning and or neurovirus. Okay, I was not okay.
You guys got anything else you want to talk about this movie?
Oh, let's see.
Ron has notes. Ron always has notes.
Actually, I think we covered most of my notes.
I think you took the reins and kind of led a lot of this. So
right, yeah. It's weird when Ron likes the movie. Ron is just like all about it. Like this and Willow are the only 2 things he's ever cared about.
Hey, I've liked some of the other movies, just not as much as other movies. So, and there's a lot of the times when we get into them, and you guys have a lot more information than I do about them. This is one of those times where I have more information than you guys do.
That's true. You read the book.
Yes, he did.
You read the novelization.
All right, so I guess that means we go to our kill count. We got a total of 21.
Damn.
Wow.
A movie where they were literally offing each other like brother killing brother, and still not as many as Batman.
Yeah,
not even close. Not even a little like
it's double digits. That's something. It's actually about 4th. But
whatever. Math is stupid. Leave me alone. Wait, is it 20?
Because it was 20, like 80 something.
I thought it was 68.
I thought it was 89.
Oh, so that would be
less
than
30. Or maybe that was the year that it was made in. Maybe it was 86.
Hold on.
I thought 68.
Go back to the notes.
One of us is dyslexic here, so.
Maybe both of us.
Wrong, that one. No, it was 78.
78.
Hey, we had the 8 right. We had the 8 right.
Really close.
So about a 4th, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Ron, bingo. What we got?
Okay, so because the old guy is part of the village council, we have government interference with him trying to get through the wall. We had
he's technically not wrong.
He's not. I can't fault him for that one.
We had an origin reveal with how Tristan was conceived.
Literally just plot. But okay, go ahead.
We had a training montage.
We did.
We had at least one dead parent. We had
the king died.
We had sadly implied nudity instead of actual nudity.
Correct.
We had fight for control of something, which would have been Yvain the whole time.
Yeah.
We had some misogyny. The talking trope with the pirates, all like, "Arr," you know.
Yep.
We had animal cruelty with the way that unicorn just fucking destroyed that goat.
Also, we have sacrifices. Come on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Wow.
We also had animal cruelty when the animals started biting Mormo, whatever the hell her name was, the other sister.
Oh yeah. The rodents and the dog, or the ferrets and the wolves.
And the coyotes. Yeah. Those were coyotes. They were just dyed to look like wolves. We had a lot of comic logic as far as basically a lot of shit went. I call it comic logic because it's magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they had a flying ship, Ron. I think that kind of like.
Oh, the flying ship would actually go for unexplainable science because it was powered by electricity.
Oh, is that? I thought they were lightning mongers.
They were. Like they were harnessing lightning, but it was also running off the lightning power.
Okay.
Yeah, to make it fly.
Who were they selling the lightning to, really?
People that needed power. People that wanted to electrocute witches. I don't know. They stored it in those little battery cells that looked like he gave Tristan.
Well, they had the giant.
And then they had the huge battery also, yeah.
Bats,
do you think for it to be sushi grade, they have to freeze it for 30 days? Really funny joke to specifically only me.
I was gonna say I have no idea what you're talking about there.
Sushi.
I know
sushi grade tuna. Yeah, sushi grade tuna and salmon for it to be raw has to be frozen at sub-zero temperatures for 30 days to kill any parasites.
Oh, that makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But we also had
that was a very funny joke to only me, which is my favorite humor. So
we had a cameo, which I consider Ricky Gervais as a cameo because it's just him.
Yeah,
we had sexual innuendo.
Oh, that does actually bring up a good point.
God,
is it a cameo if it's more than one scene?
Ooh.
Oh,
that's good. That is a good point.
That is a good point.
Because I was always under the impression that a cameo only lasts one scene,
and it's usually like pretty quick. Yeah, maybe like they're walking through. Well,
no, like because you can have cameos where it's like the joke is that they're playing the person that they are, and it's like a scene worth. Right.
I was just thinking the in Shazam Fury of the Gods, the original Billy Batson from the TV show has a scene. Yeah. And it's like it's multiple, like, oh, he's talking to him, then we go back to Zachary Levi, and then it shows him again with the crowd. So yeah, but it's all the same scene. So yeah, Ricky Gervais is in two
separate scenes.
Yeah.
Well, so three separate scenes.
Is he?
Oh yeah, that's right, because it's Septimus.
Yeah.
Credited.
He's credited. So I would call that not a cameo.
That's fair. I just meant because he was playing himself. Yeah. Sure. Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, no,
we have actor. In that case, we don't have a cameo. We have actor playing himself.
Yeah. No, that I'll give you absolutely. And technically, Robert De Niro is just playing Robert De Niro, so that's a double.
But then we have sexual innuendo. We have hero kills.
Yep.
Because Yvain absolutely destroys Lammas at the end of that movie, Lamia.
Yeah.
And I think that covers it.
Well, that's like 2.5 or 3 bingos. I don't know how many it is. Very cool.
3 bingos.
Very nice. Chuck, what you got for Spawn Kip Continue?
I really thought this kind of held up. Like the magic, for as much CG as there was with like magic and stuff, it didn't look terribly dated. I didn't think the ship looked a little rough.
The only thing that I didn't really like was the two-headed elephant at the beginning, because that totally looked like, and then the eyes, like when he first goes to the market.
See, I didn't mind either one of those, but I was also watching it on my phone.
That's fair.
The coyotes and the ferrets attacking the one,
that looked silly.
When they ran out the door, that looked like they were like screened in.
Yeah. Well, they probably were.
That was I watched that on TV. So
yeah, it didn't. I don't know. Again, I also watched it on my phone, so maybe it just didn't look as bad or something. But like, yeah, I think in comparison to like other stuff we watched from this era, this didn't look terrible at all. You know what I mean?
No, it looked really good.
You can kind of wrap the like from like because this was 2007, so like probably a 4-year span is arguably the amount of like time that before we see change. And like Catwoman was the same era, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Catwoman looked atrocious. So
Catwoman was the same time as Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that's disgusting and weird.
Yeah.
So, I'll be fair. I'm gonna say, 6 out of like 15 spawn capes.
Not too
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty good score.
All right. Speaking of score, what you got for
all right. Is this a comic book movie? I have no. Is this
allegedly?
I don't know. Allegedly, I've never seen the comic book. Didn't know this was a book. Didn't even know this movie existed. I don't know. But did I enjoy it? Weirdly enough, yes, I still enjoyed it, despite the fact that I constantly got lost on what actually was happening and why people were chasing him. There was enough of it that I really was entertained by it, though it did feel like it was trying to be 2007's of The Princess Bride, which I don't think it did.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. I can see kind of what you're like. I can kind of piece together what you're trying to put together.
Yeah. Like they wanted a fantasy-based story that was very fantastical, but was like kind of made for kids, because this did feel still like a kind of a kids movie, despite the fact that it was rated PG-13. So like a young adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this felt like
I go with that.
This felt like it was made for a 13-year-old. So
yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it was good. I probably would show this to both my nieces and nephew. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they actually would probably enjoy this at age 13. But that being said, I had very low expectations. They were exceeded, but not by much. 4.8. Like, I'm not going to nuke it because it still actually was pretty good. I really liked Robert De Niro in this movie. I liked that Robert De Niro was Robert De Niro being flamboyant. I think it was kind of different for him. I've never really seen him play characters like this before, and I think he did a really good job. So that was enough. What was what's the main witch's name?
Lamia?
No. Like the actor's name.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer.
She's all right.
Catwoman.
Yeah, she's kind of hot.
Yeah.
I would have liked Sarah Jessica Parker better in this role, but that's just me. If we're just gonna draw comparisons to Hocus Pocus.
See, I don't know. Sarah Jessica Parker doesn't. She's not really a strong actress.
Well, ironically, and I mean, you read the book,
She's
but apparently,
right.
according to IMDb, Lamia was not supposed to have as big of a role. Once Michelle Pfeiffer got on, they kind of reworked the script so that she had a bigger role.
I mean, I mean, pretty much like you only find out they're hunting her and stuff. Like,
okay,
but
so
yeah,
I don't know.
Interesting.
All right, 4.8. Ron, what you got?
So I really like this movie. I have a lot of fun with this movie. Like I said, I've seen it multiple times. I enjoy it every time I watch it. I enjoyed the movie enough to go pick up the book and read it. So I mean, like, there is that.
Win-win.
Are there attractive women in this movie? Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Is there action that's exciting? Yes, there is. Are there silly tropes that we have to have in fantasy movies? Yes, there are. I liked it a lot. I gave it an 8.93.
Not too bad.
That's really high. Yeah, I'm starting to kind of get the type of movies Ron likes.
Very attractive women.
Well, very attractive women, but also like fantasy settings. Like Willow is his favorite movie of all time. This movie scores really high too. Like it seems like magic, fantasy, mysticky kind of storybook-ish tale movies.
That's pretty
really
accurate.
Yeah,
but they have to have good stories though.
Stories is key, especially for me. That's why I like a lot of the.
I just like dumb shit, man.
Well, so do I. But
so, Joey, what's your rating on this one here?
I first time watching it, I really enjoyed it. I can understand why I didn't see this when it came out, and when it came out on DVD, I didn't buy it. I almost guarantee that they were pushing the love story as in the trailer, and like, oh, action, but love story. So at that time, 2007, I was just all action and like love stories. I don't need that. But no, this is a really, really fun movie. It kept my interest the entire time. Like this is a movie I would show my kids, and the fact that it's a Neil Gaiman book based off of his book just adds to this is a good movie because Neil Gaiman is a wonderful writer. Like I said earlier, Ricky Gervais showing up was I didn't really like that. That kind of sucked. For me anyway, like that took it down a little bit. And then at the very end, well, I guess really at the end where Tristan became this great swordsman somehow in 3 days.
Did you not watch the montage?
I did watch the montage. That's not how montages work. Usually. That's
100% how montages work. You have a montage, you master skills.
Not for 3 days. Regardless, though,
that's exactly how montage works. What are you talking about?
Right?
Anyway.
Was that to be minimum 1 week montage?
Yeah. He needed more training. He didn't know nothing.
Hey,
you saw him in the very beginning of the movie holding a stick to fight against Humphrey, and Humphrey like just bashes it away like it was nothing.
Because he was an old grizzled vet.
No,
he'd been at the wall forever.
No, not the guard, Humphrey. Oh. The other suitor.
But Humphrey also was, a prep boy where he actually took classes in fencing and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
And as soon as Tristan got a little bit of training, he was amazing. He was also in a magical world, Joey.
Which I think time should have been different. So him being over there, he could have been over there for longer than a week because he had to be back to Victoria before her birthday in a week. Like you could have been like, oh, it's been a month. I've been in this magical world for a month. Cool. That makes more sense. Him having a month of training, I would believe that he would actually be able to hold his own against Septimus. Doesn't matter that Lamia is, controlling him. It's still whipping it around. He's blocking it like he's had the best training ever.
Maybe he just had natural skill that nobody knew about until it was unlocked.
Maybe it's in the novelization.
Yeah, it's probably a novelization.
Yeah.
Maybe being so close to a star. Oh.
He was at that time. He was definitely close.
Yeah, when you get that Stardust on your dick, you know what I mean? Activates all your masculinity and your balls.
That's Starusty.
Yeah, that's what Republicans were trying to do when they were suntanning their balls for a while. You know what I mean?
Anyway,
it should have been Stardust.
I gave this movie an 8.2. I really, really like this.
Wow, all right. I feel bad about scoring it so low, but not really.
What? But that's. I mean, you still enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, I'm often Russia in this situation. I lowball a lot of these scores because I know you guys are gonna nuke them.
Not necessarily. But no, this is one that I would probably at some point in the future buy to have in my collection. I really did enjoy this.
All right. Well, it's not that good. Let's slow down.
No, it's pretty good.
You think
my score is at 8.2. It was pretty good.
I know. You think it was good enough to. If it wasn't in a $5 bin, you think it'd be good enough? Would you pay $20 for this movie?
I'm
not paying $20 for it.
I'd have paid $10 for it.
Yeah.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah.
But you got to remember that $5 back then was like $5.50 now. Oh.
Anyway, that gives us a combined score of 7.31.
That's pretty high. Which
drops it at number 19, just behind Spider-Man 2 from a few weeks ago, at a 7.35, and just above Doctor Strange from 1978 at 7.225. So
I feel like a lot of our movies are landing there and just pushing it around.
It's starting to get in the sevens, yes.
Yeah, some of us are using our decimal points now.
Anyway,
I got you there, Joey.
He did. I specifically asked him to start doing that. So
because it's getting a little too crowded. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, because I know we're getting into that era of movies where a lot of them are gonna be around the same scores. So
that way we have a differentiation in scores, so we don't have 5 of them that are like at 7.5.
Right. I mean, we got 3 at 7.5 right now. So
yeah, see.
Interesting.
We've got 4 at 7.25. That's fun. Anyway, so yeah, that's there we go. Stardust, guys. That really enjoyed.
That was a thing we watched.
It
wasn't bad. We've watched a lot worse.
God damn, we have. I'm actually looking.
There's more to come. That's probably going to be worse. So
I'm looking forward to what we have coming up next. But before that, Chuck, where can they find you online?
Hey, most importantly, before you can find me online, why don't you go over to patreon.com/professional casual? Don't you know what? Giving the network $1 costs us more than it's worth. So go ahead and hit that 301 tier. That's what you want to do. That directly supports us. Fuck Tim and his holding out on us and not giving us any money. That guy, I tell you. You know what he does with his $1 that he gets? He goes and buys 2 McDoubles for $4 at McDonald's. And he sits and eats them on stream. And I say to myself, no, we are not doing this, Tim. That's what I say. So head over 301 tier so he no longer gets money because he has to give it to us over at patreon.com/professional casual.
That's true.
You can find also this show on YouTube. If you are watching it on YouTube, or head over and find it on YouTube, leave a like, a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the gosh darn bell for notifications, things of that nature. And of course, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok, Kicked Out of the Hood. No, you ain't kicked. Ronald?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Good at This Game. You can find my art page on Instagram at Good Art This Game. And obviously on this podcast right here. Joey?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Threads at Comic Book Rundown. You can email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. Rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice. If you do, we'll read it on an upcoming episode. We've got merch over on Redbubble and TeePublic, and our song was done by Cam. You know what? We need to get some new merch over there. We need new merch. We haven't had anything in a while, and honestly, I kind of forget how to upload it. So, yeah.
Well, you figure it out, and I'll start making stuff. So,
yes, I mean it's not hard to figure out. I just gotta get the.
Oh, you know what I need to do? Picture. I need to make a picture of Joe Cool killing Batman's parents.
yeah, you do. Holy shit, I forgot about that joke.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Make that?
Yeah, you need to make Joe Cool Snoopy shooting his parents point blank while he's crying on the ground. Oh my god. I would buy 7 of those so I had one every day of the week.
Buy it different
Holy
colors.
Shit. Yeah.
All right.
Wow, that was a good
our next movie. Like I said, I'm excited for this. It's June. It's my birthday month, so I get to pick this one.
Oh God, we're watching the Snyder cut of something.
Just this one, even though I pick all of these basically. No, we are not watching the Snyder cut of something.
Thank God. We are going
to be watching Resident Evil from 2002.
Oh hell yeah!
I've been on Resident Evil kick for some reason. Don't know why.
So Interesting. I've never, specifically a Resident Evil 4 fan.
Okay.
I hate static
Simon.
camera games. So I hate static camera games. And of course, PlayStation was notorious for this, right?
Yes, back in the 90s, yes.
Yeah, so I hate it.
I mean, there were only
I guess it was
3.
2000s.
Yeah, I think there were only 3 game series that they had like that, though.
The first 3.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, they had Resident Evil. They had Devil May Cry that was like that.
Yep,
Oh,
Devil May Cry.
And
Metal
then
Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
Those are the only 3 I can think of.
Yeah, but those were like the 3 biggest fucking games that everybody played, and specifically my friends telling me how great these games were.
And if you suck at controls, then yeah, you really can't play those games very well.
Yeah, really hated it. Anyway. But I've seen bits and pieces of this, but I have never from start to finish watched the specific on TV. So like even the bits and pieces I saw were heavily edited. But I have been saying to myself, man, I really want to give the Resident Evil series like an honest watch, because the only one I think I've ever seen was like Extinction in theaters, and because that was my friends dragged me to it, so I had no idea what was going on.
I saw all 7. I mean, original.
Holy shit! There's 7 of them.
There's the remake, the Welcome to Raccoon City that came out like a couple years back.
I haven't seen that one. I just knew there was 3 of them. I thought, but
there's 6 of them. There's 6 with Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
So I went and saw all those in theaters because I love the series so much. So
I really liked 4 and 5. I think I remember playing 5 too, and I really liked it.
5 and 4 were really fun. Yeah.
2 was the one that I played the most.
2 is the first one I ever played. But we should probably save this for our Resident Evil podcast, boys. So, anyways, Chuck, you want to outro us?
Where I sing? Actually, real quick, I do want to ask one question.
Yes, go ahead.
No, hold on. Actually, legitimate question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Head over to youtube.com / whatever the fuck it is in the thing, and write in the comments, if you were to retire your top 2 favorite movies of all time. Okay? So like think of like your top 10 list of like favorite movies.
Okay.
You have to officially Hall of Fame them. They go off the list. And then does everything slide up, or does your new top 10 look completely different?
God damn.
So you mean like the top 2 are gone?
So they're not gone. It's just like you acknowledge that nothing is ever going to beat those 2. Like so I've been thinking about this for a while now. Like all week I've been thinking about this. And I've been saying to myself, my number 1 favorite movie is Empire Strikes Back. My number 2 favorite movie is Starship Troopers. Those are never going to change because they live solely based on nostalgia of the movies. But I can attest and agree that like, yeah, those are specific because of nostalgia. I love them so much. What if I just Hall of Famed goated those? They come off my top 10 list. What the fuck does my top 10 list even look like now? Because I don't actually think I know.
So would you
that's really rough for me because mine changes all the damn time. Like, I mean, my top ones stay at the top, but like everything.
But like, that's the point. Is like you take your top 2 because your top 2 arguably never change.
Respectfully, yeah.
Yeah. So what does become my number 1 movie? So I don't know.
Write us in the comments what you guys think.
Yeah, or email us. Or write a review if you're listening to this on a podcasting app of choice, and write it in your review. And then go to other shows on this network and write reviews about us on those shows. So they have
Pony, do that.
Specifically say something about, wow, everything Chuck said about Dan is true. And just leave it at that.
And we're going to end it right there. Sing it out.
Down, down, and down, down, and down, down.